What do you want from me? I'm just blood and flesh and bones. I'm not an answer.
Welcome to Mildly Entertaining at UNCW, the show where the Office of Military Affairs keeps you mildly entertained and more or less up to date on what's going on at UNCW. Your hosts are Joanna DeMott, the Military Liaison and Program Coordinator, and Melanie Nelson, the Military Student Services Specialist. Well, hello, Joanna. How are you today?
I'm great. I'm always great. That's just the way it is. How are you today, Melanie?
I'm great. I'm glad you're great. It's just this moment of consistency in my workday, knowing that you're great. It's just a good baseline.
It is important to be consistent in today's times. I'm super excited about our guest today. We have Tiffany Morris, the Interim Manager for Institutional Effectiveness in Institutional Research and Planning here at UNCW. How are you today, Tiffany?
I'm doing great, as you guys are as well. So great all the way around.
Triple greatness. So I can see by your work environment around you, it looks like you're in a lovely room, but not in a room on campus. How has your work situation changed since mid-March?
So I'm obviously at home now, like the majority of UNCW employees. Actually, currently I'm in my dining room because my partner is in my office. So it's a little bit different than what it normally is. But the change for me has just been really not seeing people. I do a lot of work remotely anyway, so it hasn't really been too difficult, except now I don't have the opportunity to have my 4 lovely screens that I normally have at the office. So that's probably the biggest change.
Excellent. Have you been back to campus?
Just to pick up a new laptop, and that was it.
Wow. Excellent. Melanie has some really hard-hitting questions for you, so I'm going to turn you right over to her.
Cool.
Did you say 4 screens?
Yeah, 4 screens. It's a good thing and it's a bad thing. You know, I keep one of them on a vertical, so it's just my email running on my left-hand side, so I can see it at all times, and then the other 3 are my working screens. So it's just a habit I never broke, and now I'm really breaking it with the laptop. So
that's a major adjustment. So carry on the good fight there. I know that's a struggle. I do think that's a record. We've heard some people talking about like their dual screens, but 4 screens. That's a lot. That's a lot of like multitasking. We might need to delve deeper into that in a moment. But first, I have a very important question for you, and that's what are you snacking on these days? So is it different from what you were snacking on before? Do you have any special work from home snacks? What do we got?
Good question. I am snacking a lot, first of all, just snacking a lot, period. Trying not to, but still find myself in the pantry at least 3 or 4 times a day. I'm trying to think, what am I snacking on? I try to do healthy, like fruits and things, but then I get tired of those. So I try to switch to like nuts, but then I get tired of those. So I find that I go to like Cheetos, the things that I could probably never eat in the office with other people around, or like my hands get nasty. So Cheetos, Doritos, Oreos, I guess things that end with O's. I don't know.
For a second, I was like, we're going with things coated in cheesy puff dust, like Doritos and the Cheetos, but then you went to Oreos. Although I imagine there are probably some people who figured out a way to like coat their Oreos in cheese puff dust, and I can't decide if it's like an attractive idea or a repulsive idea.
Yeah.
That's where I am on snacking these days. Oh boy, now we know. Okay, so returning to the pantry quite a lot. Yeah. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
Hope that works out for you. Next question. So you've already mentioned one thing that you do miss while you're teleworking, which is your 4 screens. But what or whom do you not miss while teleworking?
Or whom? Ooh.
You don't have to take the bait. I feel like I need to offer a disclaimer here. You don't have to take the bait. You don't have to go with whom. It could be what or whom do you not miss?
Oh, that's okay. I mean, there's definitely people that I don't miss. And I guess, okay, so I don't miss the people who take up the entire refrigerator in the break room. I have my own refrigerator now at home, and hopefully they do too. But those people I definitely don't miss. I'm not going to name names because I don't know their names, but don't miss them. What else? Probably the commute is probably a common answer you're getting, but the commute is one I don't miss. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Everything else is pretty normal.
That's a surprisingly diplomatic answer for the expression on your face when you first said, do I not miss? Yeah, I mean, now that again we've established that snacking is so important for you and that you need multiple visits to your snack repository, I can see why you wouldn't miss other people taking up your snacking space. What a challenge, what a challenge. Okay, so we're doing a lot of work on Zoom these days. What are your pet peeves on Zoom?
Well, when people don't mute themselves, that's a big one. I think it's funny when people try to use the chat, but they don't do it privately. So they forget that it's going to everyone. That's one. And I hate the waiting room, like wait for the host to enable. I'm like, come on, you don't have to be there when everyone else is there. Like, let me in it's okay if we have a pre-meeting conversation. That's okay. I think those are my pet peeves.
So it's like one of the few rewards of logging into Zoom early is that you might randomly see somebody and get to have that small talk conversation. And when they enforce the waiting room, you're sort of like, no, then we all get let in like a minute beforehand and we're just like ready to take notes on this PowerPoint and it's just not very good.
Yeah, the waiting room is no bueno. Like, I don't know why they even have it. It's just so weird to me. I don't understand it. I also don't like a distracting background. Like, and people when like they're like moving their computers everywhere while they're on the call, I'm like, sit still because you're distracting me and I'm actually trying to pay attention. So I don't like that either.
Yeah, that's just like a generic, like, why would, I don't know. Like, I guess people rustle in their seats during an in-person meeting, but it's not quite the same as rustling your entire screen around, and especially when it's in front of a weird background, then it's like jumping behind them. And then, the thing about people chatting. So number one, if you're the one coordinating the meeting, like I kind of get why you'd want a waiting room because then you can like get your share screen up and like nobody's pestering you and that must be really luxurious for people. But with the chatting thing, I've actually seen it go very, very badly wrong where somebody actually meant it to be public and was like making a joke about something and then somebody jumped in and was like, so I think you meant that to be private. And it got like super awkward because they were like, no, I was talking about, never mind, just never mind. And then that person has like never gone out in the chat feature on a Zoom meeting or training ever again because they just got like obliterated. It was like, nope.
I just stay away from the chat and I'll go to a different mode of, communicating. I'll go to my Teams or I'll go to the email or even text if I want to text them if it's that important. I just don't even use the chat. It's not worth it.
Yeah, it's definitely not. It's definitely not. Okay, excellent. So next question. If you had to telework for the rest of your career, note that I'm not saying there's a pandemic for the rest of your career. Hopefully that won't happen. But if you had to telework for the rest of your career, what would be the most important things for you to keep in mind?
For me to keep in mind? Well, background, we've already talked about the big thing. So I want to make sure I have a dedicated space with that background. So I would definitely keep that in mind. I guess one of the biggest things, like for me recently with working from home, is I've established this pattern of like, I don't know what you would call it. It's like going halvesies. So like I do half of my hair and I get dressed like the top half is business, I do my nails, but not my toes because you can't see those anymore. There's a lot of like going halvesies. There's like the hair in the back is like crazy, but the front looks great. You just don't know that. So
now we do.
I would, well, now you do. I would probably want to establish a more routine pattern of like as if I was getting dressed and ready to go to work. Not that I'm not getting up, getting dressed and going to work. It's just the little things that I've slowly started to take out of my routine. I need to start putting those back in. So yeah, going halvesies is huge. If you're not doing it, I highly recommend it, but don't get it into a pattern.
I think most people are not even going the halvesies. I'm going maybe like a quarter of the way. And you know, y'all are just having to deal with all of it. Lucky people that you are. But I do like that concept of like going halvesies. There are things that are visible and important. Did anybody else read about the Zoom shirt phenomenon? Apparently people are just like keeping a shirt around near their work area so they can like throw it on, which I was actually doing earlier in the pandemic when it was cooler outside. I had a cardigan that says Office of Military Affairs, and I would just kind of keep it on my chair. So it's like if I like earlier today, I took a long walk and it was very hot outside, and then if I wanted to like rush in and hop on a meeting, I could just throw on the cardigan. So it's my Zoom cardigan.
I feel like you could do that with a cardigan and get away with it, but I'm one of those people, I'm very observant. And so I noticed like you've worn that same shirt for every meeting the past 5 meetings. So I'm going to call you out on that.
That's definitely a thing that has been happening. There have been a couple of times when Joanna and I have shown up for an interview or an event and we've both been wearing the same Office of Military Affairs sweater because we coordinate ahead of time. And also I was recording a bunch of videos for our military affairs orientation course. And I was like, well, should I, like, they're going to sit there and watch this, so I should be wearing the same outfit. So like for several days in a row, like when it was time for me to like record, I would go put on the cardigan because I have a dark background to my Zoom background, and I needed something lighter so that it would like have a nice contrast. Otherwise I just sort of look like I'm blending into the wall, which is that I'm just a talking head. Things get weird.
I love that you just cared about that, because some people just don't, which maybe is another pet peeve of mine. They just don't care. Like they sit with the shades drawn and they're like in a shadow the whole time. And I know they're talking, but I can't see anything. So
they're in mourning and you're like, what's going on over there? Is everything okay? And they're actually just like, I just have a migraine and I don't feel Yes. Okay. All right. Well, okay. Going halvesies. I'm going to make note. I'm going to give it a try.
Okay.
We are getting ready to like start moving into our new building on campus over the next couple of weeks. So like I may have to start stepping up my quarter time game. Maybe if I can get it halvesies over the summer and then in the fall go back to full. Actually, I may only ever make it back to 75%. People, I'm sorry. It is what it is. Okay, so I
highly recommend it. Highly recommend
going halvesies. I think that's the title of this episode. I'm going to hand you back to Joanna now so she can investigate this concept a little bit further and also ask you some other questions about how you work.
Thank you.
I'm definitely a big fan of the halvesies phenomenon and have used it quite frequently. I even have a lip gloss that's right here. If I'm going for an important meeting, I will add the lip gloss, but the glasses are on most of the time because it does help with the blue light, but also you can't tell that I don't have any makeup on. So that's always good too.
I know, that's definitely another trick too. These are blue light glasses, so I don't technically need them, but I will wear them because I don't have on makeup right now.
No makeup required, for sure. What do you have a passion outside of UNCW, or maybe it coincides with your job that you'd like to tell us about, something you really enjoy?
Yeah, I love to bake. So a lot of people don't know that about me, but I'm gluten free, and so it's hard to find. Like I love dessert too, so that's another thing. I usually eat dessert first, but I love to bake, and there's not a lot of gluten free options when it comes to like baked goods. So I have learned how to bake gluten free, and started a blog a little while ago, trying to capture my recipes and make sure that I'm doing them over and over again, because I'm really bad at that part, repeating it. But I love baking anything: cupcakes, cakes, macarons, pies, anything that I can consume, which is also not a very good habit right now because I'm at home extra, so I can bake extra, which means I get to eat extra because I'm not really sharing with anybody right now. So yeah, the COVID-19 is real and it's happening over here.
I don't think your partner would have any problem with that extra baking. Yeah, we have a weird buzzing noise and I don't think we can fix it. So we're just going to keep going. Sorry, listeners. Enjoy the random buzzing noise that's popping in. No idea what that's about. What is your favorite part of your job?
Favorite part of my job is just providing goods. I do a lot of customer service in my role, even though it's at different levels, but providing that to different people across campus. It's really fun when it's students, like helping them with their survey interest and research while they're in a class. That's been really, really fun and exciting to see how much they grow and learn during that process.
That's wonderful. So you do help students if they're trying to conduct a survey or do something for their coursework.
Yeah, I mean, if they reach out, we're there to help them. That's one of the many things that our office offers.
You do a lot with task force, correct?
Task stream.
Task stream, sorry. I'm in another place. Task stream. Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit more about task stream and its purpose at the university?
Sure. So TaskStream has two different platforms. One is the LAT, or the Learning Achievement Tool, and the other is the AMS, the Assessment Management System. And so I work in the AMS, although I manage accounts for all of TaskStream. The AMS we use to track all of the assessment reporting across the institution, both academic and administrative units. So things that individual units set forth goals, outcomes, and then they document that in the system. So they'll set metrics that they have to meet in a certain time frame and document the evidence and the findings of those and how they can keep moving the needle towards their own goals and also support the institutional mission.
What happens with that information?
Well, we compile it and we review it. Most of it is used for the individual unit. We don't want you all to do any extra work, so you should be using it yourself to move your unit forward. But also, we're using it at a higher level to show evidence for our strategic plan and also for SACS accreditation requirements. So we do have our reaffirmation coming up soon. So we'll start compiling all of that and writing narratives and things like that.
So everybody finish your task stream input because they're going to be using it very soon.
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely staying on top of people to keep inputting their information. It's definitely a challenge to do that because there's a lot of other priorities, but this is definitely one of them that will ramp up and get hopefully some more light on it sooner rather than later.
That's amazing. I want to thank you for coming on today. It's been really a pleasure getting to know about your gluten-free baking, but also a bit about your job and how you help our students and our staff members with their survey needs, but also staying on task and on that strategic plan for the university. It's wonderful to see everybody working together to achieve those goals.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. And I do have to say that I cannot bake brownies. So if you ever have a brownie request, it's like the one thing I can't make. So please, just let that be known. When it's my birthday, people give me brownies and not cake because I can't ever make them. So
that's like the only thing I can make with almond flour.
I know everyone can either make brownies or everything else, and I can't do brownies. So.
We all have weaknesses, and if you're sharing baked goods, normally that's a wonderful thing, and I enjoy that.
We definitely applaud all the sharing of all the baked goods, gluten-free and otherwise, if anybody was tracking that. And yeah, so brownies that are not gluten-free are really hard to make, and they're actually better from a box mix. They're one of those things, this has been proven on several baking blogs. I happen to be a purveyor or a purveyor, I don't know. I read baking blogs because I love baked goods. So I'm gonna need the address of your blog real quick. And we'll just
right now.
just
oh no!
Spell it out for us, and we'll share that too in the notes.
It's just called Tiffany's Baking Again.
Tiffany's Baking Again. Okay.
Yep.
I'll be checking that out because I do like to eat gluten-free baked goods interspersed with regular ones because I think they're just better. I do like the almond flour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I do a little bit of both. I do the kind of a box mix, kind of mix it up a little bit, put a spin on it, but I also bake from scratch. And it's a lot of fun giving it to family and friends. And they often say is Tiffany baking again? And so that's where the name came from because they're all gluten-free as well. So they're like, is she baking again? Because we're out of our baked goods.
Because we're out again.
Yeah, again.
Yep. Okay. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. I look forward to investigating some of your recipes. And this has been an episode of Mildly Entertaining at UNCW, and we will see you on the internet. Thank you for listening to Mildly Entertaining. Our intro music comes from the band Blue Turnip and their song, What Do You Want From Me? You can find their EP, Songs from the Root Cellar, on Bandcamp, iTunes, Amazon, and Spotify. For more information, you can go to blueturnipmusic.com.